Well, hello, Mr. Monkey, and how are we feeling today? Let's check the thermometer. I know you're not well. Let's have a look. Good. Yes, the temperature has gone down. That's good news. Now, Mr. Monkey, you don't have to stay in bed any longer, okay, because your temperature has gone down, but you can't go out monkeying, not yet. You must stay indoors for another 3 days because you're not strong enough to go out yet, all right? You mustn't be too energetic. You can have relaxing baths and you can eat whatever you want, but you mustn't have any alcohol, okay, because you haven't finished your antibiotics and it could have a disastrous effect on you, all right? So you must finish your cycle of tablets. Now, let's see what else. Oh, yes, and you must drink a lot of water, maybe 5 liters a day, if you can manage that, okay? Good. So, oh, and you don't have to pay me until you're better, okay, Mr. Monkey? So, take very good care of yourself, and I will come back tomorrow and check on your condition again, okay? So, goodbye, Mr. Monkey. See you tomorrow. I became a nurse to show you other ways of using modal verbs. Now, so far we have studied can, could, and may. And these are verbs which help to change the meaning of the verb which comes after. They're called modal verbs. And here we were using verbs of obligation. Very interesting. Let's look at the screen and see those. Now, let's first go back to permission. Remember, we talked about can is a form of expressing permission, and I was giving him permission to do things. For example, you can eat whatever you want, you can go for walks, and you can't, however, that's not giving permission, you can't go monkeying or you can't go to work, all right? Then I talked about obligation, and this is very interesting. I used the verb must. Must followed by an infinitive without to. So, for example, you must finish the tablets, you must relax, you must stay at home for 3 days, and you must look after yourself. Now, that in English is how you express obligation, something which is you are obliged, forced to do. All right? It's a strong verb in English. Now, the opposite, mustn't, means prohibition. If you do that, okay, so very strong verb. You mustn't drink alcohol. You mustn't do anything energetic. And you mustn't jump about. All right, so must and mustn't. Must, obligation, mustn't, prohibition. Then I said something else. I said, you don't have to stay in bed. Now that's very interesting because that's optional obligation. And it's the same as saying you don't need to stay in bed. You don't have to stay in bed. It's optional. Or you don't have to stay indoors. I also said you don't have to pay me. It means it's not necessary. So that's optional obligation with have to. So that's an important lesson. Must, mustn't, and have to as different ways of expressing obligation. Great. So now you have to study more English. You must read and watch your English lessons. Okay? And I must see you again next time. Okay then. Goodbye.